Grace Legacy Academy did not begin as an empty software idea. It began with curriculum, frameworks, lessons, workbooks, governance language, product systems, and years of thinking that had already been documented. But a document is not yet a platform. A document can explain an idea from beginning to end. A platform has to know where the learner is, what they can access, how they move forward, what support is available, what remains private, and what happens when they need something the system should not provide. So the work was never simply uploading files into a course portal. The written knowledge had to be translated into structured behavior. The first step was understanding the purpose of each document. Was it curriculum, a framework, a learner reflection, a workbook tool, an internal operating rule, a governance boundary, a product record, or a future feature idea? Those categories matter because software has to treat information according to what it is meant to do. A lesson belongs inside a learning sequence. A workbook prompt may need to appear at a specific point. A governance rule has to limit system behavior. An internal founder document may never belong in the learner-facing environment at all. The first technical task was classification, preserve the meaning, identify the function, assign the right home. Once the materials were classified, the curriculum had to become a learning architecture that required more than organized folders. It required courses, lessons, sequence, progress, access, reflection, support, and continuity. The Academy also needed to respect the pace of the material. A restorative learning journey should not become a content dump where every lesson competes for attention at the same time. The order had to communicate intention. The learner needed to understand where they were, why the current lesson mattered, and what the next responsible step was. The curriculum provided the substance. The learning architecture determined how that substance would be experienced. The values behind Grace Legacy also had to become more than language on an about page. Restoration, dignity, responsibility, faith, integrity, service, hope, love, and grace had to influence what the software was actually allowed to do. That meant Grace Companion could support learning without replacing curriculum. Founder tools had to remain separate from learner tools. Sensitive information needed protection. Guidance had to stay bounded. And human escalation had to exist where automated support should stop. Values became architecture when they changed the behavior of the system. A production platform also needs the work most learners will never see. Content has to be created, reviewed, approved, stored, updated, tested, and recovered. Products need records, changes need documentation, problems need a clear path from discovery to correction. That is why the platform grew alongside internal operating systems, including product management, founder workflows, documentation standards, testing records, repository history, and system health review. Those systems are not separate from the product. They are what make the product maintainable. A platform becomes real when it can continue functioning after the excitement of the first build is over. The Academy, Grace Companion, curriculum, product systems, support, and future commerce also needed to connect without collapsing into one unrestricted system. Good integration does not mean everything can access everything. It means each part receives only the information required to perform its job. A learner may need an entitlement record showing what they own. Grace may need to know which approved resource the learner can access. Neither one needs card information to answer a lesson question. The architecture had to create continuity while preserving separation. That is one of the clearest differences between a collection of documents and a production platform. A platform has rules for how information moves. Grace Legacy Academy is not simply curriculum placed online. It is curriculum made operational. The documents provided the knowledge, values, boundaries, and language. The platform translated them into sequence, access, support, governance, workflows, and lived user experience. That translation required technical implementation, but it also required deep knowledge of the source material. The system could not preserve what the builder did not understand. The result is a platform whose architecture reflects the work it was created to carry. In the next video, I will explain what changed when OpenAI Build Week forced that architecture into a compressed, public, and testable build cycle. Subscribe to Grace Legacy Academy and follow the build one decision, revision, and occasional AI board meeting at a time.